20th, 2023, September 23rd, 2023, October 3rd, 2023, and October 18th, 2023. Concerning the recruitment of the CEO were addressed. Answer: the minutes of the Human Resource and Customer Service Subcommittee are attached for your review. These minutes contain the discussion surrounding the matters related to the recruitment of the CEO. So we have before us a number of documents related to the recruitment of the CEO, and we also had a submission from the former chairman of the committee, Mr. Chai Chong, which provided supporting documentation in relation to the recruitment of the CEO. There's a report from an entity, Great People Solutions, who were engaged by the board to identify, do the initial screening and recruitment for the CEO. There is also a copy of an email from the board requesting that members confirm and approve the process. And this seemed to have been done by round robin because there are copies from board members who indicated their support for the process to go ahead. So members, we have before us in detail the discussions that took place related to the recruitment of a CEO for the hospital. I mentioned at the last minute meeting that I was surprised that we could only find 2 paragraphs, and I knew there had to be more, and those minutes have been provided for us. So I don't know if members have any questions or comments on the documentation that is before us. Member Bunting.
Thank you, Chair. I haven't even had sufficient time to go through the quite substantial minutes of the HR committee and the additional information placed before us. I'm not even familiar with this style of minute keeping where there's an addendum to the minutes, as if you can separate some sections from the minutes which you don't want to go on the record. I don't know how that was done, but this paints, a quick scan of it paints a completely different picture from what we were led to believe at the last meeting. Like this chairman was on a frolic of his own, and that what he had presented to the committee the meeting before was not accurate. But what we see here is quite a comprehensive record of the board treating with the matter of recruiting a CEO in an international selection process. And if I were just to correct you, because I believe you referred to the chairman of the board as the chairman of the committee, and just for avoidance of doubt, it was actually Dr. Andre Foote,
who is the chairman of the subcommittee.
Who was the chairman of that committee, yeah. And I believe he was also deputy chairman of the board yeah. At that time. So
with Base 44, a simple sentence becomes your website. Page.
Anything more than the 2 paragraphs in those minutes, when we have here minutes, meeting after meeting after meeting, round robin, decisions, etc., which clearly support the submissions, the oral submissions from
the former
Chairman Chai Chong at the meeting.
When he came here. In fact,
a couple of meetings ago.
I was going to say I'd go further. If you read some of the documents, I think the former chairman made it clear in some of these meetings that this process had to be one that could stand the test of scrutiny and rigor. And I think I have seen it maybe once or twice where he said that. And certainly from the reading of what is before us, you know, they went through a very detailed process. The engagement of an external HR professional to do the initial screening, recruitment, the board, there are very detailed minutes of the discussions related to the CEO. Some of them I would say are a little sensitive and maybe private, but very detailed discussions and engagement with the relevant stakeholders. So, you know, without a doubt, there's no question that a detailed process was followed by the board at the time in dealing with the recruitment of a then CEO of the institution. And so I think it is important for the record of the meeting, and certainly I know for the former chairman that this be placed on the record so that there is no question about the accuracy of his representation to the committee when he was here. I think this fully supports his testimony here before the committee.
Along those lines, Mr. Chairman, when people give public service, we should be careful to defend their reputation if it is warranted. And I clearly, from going through these documents, as I said, I've just gone through them very quickly because there are quite a few. But a very diligent effort was taken. And I would ask that, could we have a summary of this, that it can be read into the record? Yes, they're circulated to the members, but the minutes of the committee will not reflect this material, this content. Could we have someone, I don't know, maybe AI could do it, but better, maybe the clerk or somebody could just summarize this so that we can actually read the summary of it into the minutes of the committee.
All right,
I think we owe it to the service of the chairman and that the work that was done. In recruiting.
Yeah. I agree with you, Member Bunting. I'll discuss it with the committee clerk, and we can have a determination about how best to proceed. And anything that is tabled here is for the public record. And as I said, it's very important, particularly when people are given voluntary public service. And members of boards give voluntary public service, and I know, you know, the former chairman would have probably felt aggrieved that what was represented was not accurate, and now the record can establish that what he said was actually so. Anything else, Member Cousins?
Chairman, I would like to join in those sentiments. The former board chair came here of his own volition, and he provided us with a detailed account of what transpired. Subsequent to that, there were utterances that what he was saying was not accurate. And having these records here today serves as vindication for him. And in fact, he should be commended based on what we're seeing in the report, based on the approach that he took at the time. And that is what we want to see across all of the various agencies and government bodies, where people understand the importance of transparency and accountability. So I'm happy for this being here today, and I join with my colleague, Member Bunting, in asking for this to be read into the record by way of a summary. Thank you.
I mean, if I just raise one particular issue, questions were raised about what was being proposed as the salary for the CEO. And the former chairman indicated that he sought support from some private sector entities to top up the salary. And if you look at the minutes here, you will see that a very detailed process was followed, approvals from the ministry before even embarking on it, and certainly ensuring that he had approval to proceed in a particular way. And again, I would emphasize, he himself has said a number of times in these minutes that whatever this process was, they knew it would have to be subject to scrutiny, and the details of it suggest that it can be subject to scrutiny in terms of the process that was followed, and can withstand the scrutiny in terms of the process that was followed. In terms of matters arising, we had indicated at the last meeting that having invited the current CEO, Mr. Mitchell, to appear before the PAC, and him not having done so, we initiated a process to summon Mr. Mitchell. That process was followed, was executed. We have received no correspondence from Mr. Mitchell nor his lawyer indicating his absence, and in view of his absence from this meeting, there is a process that will be triggered, and I'm going to ask the senior legislative clerk, counsel of the parliament, Ms. Tiffany Stewart, to indicate the process that will be employed going forward.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, members. All right, for the purposes of the records of Hansard, please be advised that all legal and administrative protocols and procedures were undertaken as indicated by the Chair in accordance with the Senate and House of Representatives Powers and Privileges Act and the standing orders of the House of Representatives, specifically Standing Order 78-2, to facilitate the service of the summons on Mr. Fitzgerald Mitchell on Monday, June 8, 2026. For the purposes of the records, Standing Order 78-2 stipulates if the committee desires to summon any witness, the chairman shall supply the name, residence, and occupation of every witness to the clerk of the Parliament at least 7 days before his evidence is required. The clerk shall then, subject to the directions of the Speaker, summon every such witness on behalf of the House. So that protocol and procedure was undertaken in accordance with the standing orders. Mitchell, pursuant to Section 5(1) and 6 of the Act, was ordered and summoned to appear, give evidence, and produce documents to facilitate the committee's continued examination of the Auditor General's performance audit report on ensuring value for money in public health procurement, University Hospital of the West Indies. Again, for the purposes of the records, I will just do a brief synopsis of Section 5(1) of the Act and 6. Section 5(1), which is power to order attendance of witness, stipulates every House or any standing committee may, subject to the provisions of Section 9 and 12, order any person to attend before the House or before such committee and to give evidence or to produce any paper, book, record, or document in the possession or under the control of such person. Section 6. Attendance to be notified by summons stipulates any order to attend, to give evidence, or to produce documents before either House or a committee or a joint committee shall be notified to the person required to attend or to produce documents by a summons under the hand of the clerk, issued by the direction of the appropriate authority, and that in that instance would have been the Speaker of the House of Representatives, as outlined in Standing Order 78-2. Section 6(2) goes on to state, in every summons under subsection 1, there shall be stated the time, when, and the place where the person summoned is required to attend, and the particular documents which he is required to produce, and the summons shall be served on the person mentioned therein, either by delivering to him a copy thereof, or by leaving a copy thereof at his usual or last known place of abode in Jamaica, with some adult person, and there shall be paid or tendered to the person so summoned if he does not reside within 4 miles of such place of attendance specified in the summons, such sum for his expense and as may be prescribed by the standing order. And the last, Paragraph 6 of Section 2 states, a summons under this section may be served by an officer of either house or by a constable. Now, Mr. Mitchell's failure to attend and to give evidence or to produce documents in accordance with the order constitutes an offense under Section 18A and Section 18B of the Senate and House of Representatives and Privilege Act, and may be reported to the House of Representatives as a contempt of Parliament. Again, for the records and for the purposes of clarity and completeness, Section 18A and B stipulates, any person who, A, disobeys any order may, by either House or a committee or a joint committee for attendance or for the production of papers, books, documents, or records, unless such attendance or production be excused as hereinafter provided, or refuses to be examined before or to answer any lawful and relevant question put by either House or a committee or joint committee, unless such refusal be excused as hereinbefore provided, shall be guilty of an offense and shall, on summary conviction before a resident magistrate, be liable to a fine not exceeding $200 and, in default, to imprisonment with or without hard labor for any term not exceeding 12 months. Now, evidently, the legislation is outdated. So I'm recommending, for example, the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, in conjunction with, let's say, the Law Reform Department, as well as the Office of the Parliamentary Counsel, undertake an extensive review of this legislation to facilitate, for the purposes of public accountability, an amendment to Section 18 of the legislation to enhance the penalties and to include the relevant sanctions. So probably through a comparative analysis of what is undertaken in regards to other Commonwealth jurisdictions pertaining to this similar legislation could be reviewed to implement harsher sanctions for the purposes of public accountability. So, Chair.
Thank you very much, Ms. Stewart. And I think this is something that we are obviously legislators and have responsibility for ensuring that laws are up to date. But it is very concerning that a public official who is in a position of authority, having been invited first, not responded, having been summoned, no response either from himself nor his lawyer, is in contempt and in breach of the Parliament. But as you would have heard, the fine is 200 Jamaican dollars. So that is clearly not a deterrent for persons who wish not to support the work of the committee. And the committee decided very early, I think after our first meeting, that it was important to have the CEO, the current CEO, here to answer questions that members had. And it's instructive to note that the former CEO came, a former board chairman and a former board member voluntarily availed themselves to the committee and gave evidence and provided support, which I think was helpful to the committee. But you have an officer, the CEO, who has refused. So that is something that we have to push for, an urgent update of that particular provision, because it can't be that a committee designed to ensure accountability, transparency, and good governance will have its work subverted simply because a public officer refuses to appear before it. Member Cousins?
Thank you, Chairman. The permanent secretary is here, so I'd love to find out what internal measures are at your disposal or the disposal of the minister to treat with a situation like this and the board. Yes, it is. I've been on this PAC for the last 6 years. Never seen this before. We're speaking about a CEO serving the hospital and receiving compensation. And we are dealing with serious matters that need interrogation. And it's not only about criticism, but we are here to assist as well, as you have seen over the last couple of weeks. This is most unacceptable, and I sincerely hope that the minister is looking on, the board is taking note, and that serious disciplinary action must be taken as it relates to this particular individual and the office that he holds. It is going to cause serious doubt and cast a shadow over the operations of the hospital going forward if this person remains in that substantive role. So, whatever, we are constrained by the law here, which we must take steps to amend. But certainly, there must be internal measures that can be taken separate and apart from us here that is going to instill some trust and confidence in the university hospital. And this is most unfortunate. So, PS, could you give us an idea as to what measures are available to both the board and the ministry to treat with a situation like this? Because what we don't want is for this to become a precedent.
At Florida Virtual School, there's no classroom required to excel in AP courses that give you
concerned as well. You know, disciplinary matters are not for public servants are not in the hands of the minister. The UHWI is governed by a board of directors. They impose discipline on their employees, not the central ministry or the office of the permanent secretary. What I can assure you is that I'll be writing as soon as I leave here to the chairman of the board to express the concerns and the angst of the PAC and to ask that due diligence be done and whatever disciplinary actions can be taken by the board of directors of the University Hospital of the West Indies after they do their due diligence, that be done. That's what I'm committing to do.
Okay, thank you, Pierce. Member Bunting.
You know, Pierce, I don't want you to write the chairman and use any euphemisms like concerns and angst. This behavior of the CEO is outrageous and unacceptable. It is contemptuous of Parliament's role in giving oversight to the executive, and it cannot be allowed to stand, or we're just wasting our time coming here to attend PAC and other standing committee meetings. You know, Mr. Chairman, there is the first sentence of the Great People Solutions, the search firm that was tabled here today, August 20th, 2023. It says, it became clear in the interview with the internal candidate that there were troubling indicators of a culture of non-compliance that still needed to be course corrected. Now, I'm assuming this internal candidate is who the CEO is here now. And if ever there was vindication of that committee's decision not to offer the role to this person. This is it here today. This is absolutely vulgar. This person feels they can operate with impunity, clearly protected by the administration if they do nothing. The litany of mismanagement that we have read in the Auditor General's report, and for this level of contempt to be offered to this committee is just plain unacceptable. And while the $200 may be a nuisance, but I still think we should go through with the conviction for contempt. At least let that be on the person's record, if that is the only thing to signal to the public that this committee is completely dissatisfied and we find this behavior absolutely unacceptable.
Member Miller.
I want to state my total disappointment with the actions or non-actions of action of the CEO. And I want to say no public official should treat a summons with disregard. It undermines accountability, it undermines transparency, and the respect for this parliament. And it sends a really, really bad signal to other public officials that are out there. And so I'm going to join the call for the chairman and the board to act and send a message, as well as for us to follow through with bring this matter before the court for the CEO to answer. You see, managing public resources demonstrates the highest level, when I say the highest level of responsibility and cooperation with parliamentary oversight. And if the CEO is disregarding that, it means that every other step within the organization that he's managing, he can disregard those rules and policies and nothing comes of it. Because if he's disregarding parliamentary oversight, he has no regard for anything else. And so we must take action and do something about it.
Thank you, members. I would say, having chaired a PSC for 6 years, I've been on a PSC prior to this. This is the first time we have a situation like this. As Member Bunting said, it is contemptuous of the role of Parliament. The role of Parliament is to hold the executive accountable. And when you look at the issues that arose from this report, the damning indictment.
At first, everything feels clear. Choose a life.
CEO earning a salary, being paid by the public purse. And to have that level of disregard, to refuse an invitation issued, didn't come, summons issued, don't come, like on a nothing. Like we just sit down here as people who now have nothing to do. And we don't have a responsibility to ensure that there's good governance and accountability. It's wrong, and I reiterate what my colleagues have said, that a signal must be sent. Because it means that the next time we have a PAC and some public official don't feel like him want to come answer, he may say, all right, me just pay the $200 and go on, and everything good. Can't work, sir. Cannot work, sir. Cannot work, sir. Member Cousins.
Chairman, inherent in the Westminster model is a principle of honor, decency, accountability, and transparency. And a public servant who is so contemptuous, I dare suggest should do the honorable thing and resign immediately from that post, or should be removed from that post by the authorities that have been duly constituted to do so. Anything short of that is a slap in the face of the Parliament of Jamaica of the work of the Auditor General and the people of Jamaica who are paying them hard-earned taxes. This individual should not be allowed to ever sit in that role again, in that capacity or any other capacity. The message must be strong. If the message is not strong, then as you said, Chairman, it is going to open a floodgate and it is going to undermine our work, the work of the Auditor General, and the work of everyone concerned. So the minister, he's the one who appoints the board, must act and act decisively, because we are in perilous waters where this action is concerned. And I'm very much upset about how things have transpired. I'm not surprised based on the stance that he took earlier. But one would have thought that having been served with a summons, good sense would have prevailed and that he would have presented himself here today. So, PS, as Member Bunting said, we don't want any sugarcoating. I have said what I have had to say here, and the ministry needs to send a very strong signal. And that is all I have to say in respect of this matter.
Thank you, Member Cousins. Let me acknowledge in the Parliament today we have 30 students and 17 adults, 3 teachers, 14 parents from the Steertown Primary and Infant School in St. Anne. Yes? Okay. Let me welcome you to this meeting of the Public Accounts Committee. We won't be having a full sitting of the Parliament today, so this is their opportunity to see how governance works and how the processes of the Parliament work. So welcome to our Parliament. Members, we won't be able to go any further with the University Hospital of the West Indies. Sir PS, I had indicated at the last meeting, sorry. Yes, St. Anne, Steertown in St. Anne. Oh, I don't know if that's why they came. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, we won't have a sitting today because of the biennial diaspora conference, but we will have a sitting tomorrow. P.S. There are some public concerns about the state of the Kingston Public Hospital and the non-functioning of an AC unit, which from what I've seen in the media has caused surgeries to be put off. Could you give us an update as to where things are at and when you expect things to return to normal?
Thank you, Chairman. As things stand today, 2 of the 4 main operating theaters at the Kingston Public Hospitals have been affected by the breakdown of this air conditioning unit. The repairs have been completed satisfactorily, but in order to put the theaters back in service, the other 2, they require 2 HEPA filters that have to be sourced, manufactured and sourced overseas. The order has
They have to be manufactured.
and yes,
Okay.
and sourced.
Okay, great. Wait, were you even listening? You haven't taken a single note?
Them, and we are expecting them to be air freighted into Jamaica. We have a commitment to get them into
Sorry, yes, go ahead.
We have a
please.
commitment to get these HEPA filters in by mid next week. After they are installed, then the theaters have to be cleaned, they have to be sanitized. But as it is now, surgeries are going on at the KPH. Elective surgeries have been scaled down, but emergency surgeries are going on. Another area that was affected was accident and emergency. That requires extensive repairs, but what has been done in the meanwhile, they're putting some cassette units and some split units. So those are working and everything should be okay from the accident and emergency standpoint.
So you would anticipate what, in another 2 to 3 weeks, having gotten the parts here, you should have the ACs. And would this represent a permanent solution, or this is more a patchwork?
For now, is a little bit more than a patchwork, but what we are doing, we are in procurement now for a new system, air conditioning system for those areas. Because the system is old, it's very old, and it's in need of replacement. So while we're doing that, we're in procurement, in the middle of procurement now, to get a new system to outfit those areas at the hospital.
All right, thank you, Pierce.
Thank you.
Ms. Stewart, I was going to call on you just to ensure that we, for the purposes of the minutes and the meeting, that we have accurately recorded any and all decisions that are necessary to trigger the process in relation to Mr. Mitchell. So I'm going to ask you to guide us in that regard.
Thank you, Chair. As indicated in the summary, specifically stated that failure to attend to give evidence or to produce documents in accordance with this order constitutes an offense under Section 18A and B of the Senate and House of Representatives Powers and Privilege Act, and may be reported to the House of Representatives as a contempt of Parliament. So first step, we have to go ahead now and produce a report to the Speaker, and the correspondence probably can be attached to that particular report from you, Chair, directly to the Speaker, outlining the legal and administrative protocols that were undertaken to facilitate the service of the summons on Monday, June 8, 2026, and what, unfortunately, is the outcome and the recommendation for probably reference to the Ministry of Legal and Justice and Constitutional Affairs for the amendment of the legislation. So that's the first thing. A report done, drafted by the committee clerk, supported by correspondence from you, outlining the issues of legal and policy and administrative contention to the Speaker of the House. I'm also thinking as well to send a message to the CEO. Correspondence also needs to be sent from the Speaker of the House to Mr. Mitchell as well, to say, listen, you have been ordered, you have been summoned, you have breached, you are now in contempt, and what must be undertaken in regards to the legislation. Obviously, the Parliament is confined within the ambits of the legislation, where you have the $200 to be paid. That's the most that can be done right now. However, I'll engage in necessary consultation in terms of the procedure after the correspondence has been dispatched by the Speaker or the Clerk of the Houses to Mr. Mitchell to trigger specifically this issue in the parish court.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. I just want to ensure that we follow all the legal procedures to ensure that the sanctions that we feel very strongly about should be applied. Members, in terms of, sorry, go ahead,
So
Member
in
Bond.
that regard, Mr. Chairman, I just want to be clear on the decision of the committee. The decision is that you will be empowered to write to the Speaker reporting this matter and asking for the necessary steps to be taken to follow through with the contempt of court.
Yes, so I would ask the
Or
committee to
contempt
support
action,
that I will ask the committee clerk to prepare a report for my signature to the Speaker. Okay, the committee signature to outline what we have done so far, the fact that Mr. Mitchell is in contempt, and that the proceedings to hold him accountable go through
Go
as
forward.
well.
And I think maybe you should just take a formal vote at the committee to.
Yes, so I'll put it to the members of the committee, asking for your support for us to move in that direction. Those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Mr. Seabright?
Yes, I'm in favor, Mr. Chairman, and just as an addendum, I think it's important that we put on the record that the governance reforms that have been pushed through by this administration, and certainly the administration of Bruce Golding, led to you being chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, having the opposition also chair the PAAC, which I believe is chaired by Mr. Bunting. And of course, we should also know other governance reforms that have really enhanced transparency and accountability, including, of course, the establishment of INDECOM and the Integrity Commission. So it's just important to put on record those facts. But of course, the situation as it stands now is egregious, and I believe we should take action. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll just remind you, you're correct in highlighting what the former Prime Minister indicated in terms of chairing the committees. He also went a little further and said all the other committees should be chaired by opposition members as well. You seem to have conveniently forgotten that one. The two, the P, and that is, you know, we just came from a Commonwealth conference in Trinidad on PACs. It is the norm in the Commonwealth jurisdictions that the chair of both the PAC and the PAAC are opposition members. In fact, in some countries in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Turks and Caicos, it's actually the opposition leader and the Cayman, the opposition leader himself, who chairs the Public Accounts Committee. So good, some good measures, Member Steve Wright, were initiated by former Prime Minister Golding. I would hope, but then many of them have been reversed by the current administration. Oh, Ms. Stewart, sorry, go ahead.
For the purposes of accountability and transparency as well, the minutes, I'm recommending that the minutes of today's meeting be prepared and attached to the report for the purposes of the speaker's review.
Okay, that will be done. All right, members, in terms of the other matters that the Auditor General has tabled and that we will be considering, the Auditor General's Information Technology Audit Report on the Support Jamaica website for Hurricane Melissa Relief Initiative that was tabled in, I believe, in February or March. We have gotten a response from the entity, so we will be arranging a meeting there. Also, the Auditor General's Compliance Audit Report on Governance, Procurement Activities, and Receipt and Distribution of Starlink devices for Hurricane Melissa Relief Initiative. That report was prepared and we have gotten a response from the entity. The Auditor General's Performance Audit Report on the management of the Production Initiative Program by RADA, that was retabled. It was tabled before in the last parliamentary year. It was retabled on May 12th. We are awaiting the response, which should be provided, I think, today, the 16th. And then the Auditor General's Hurricane Melissa Relief Initiative Audit Compliance Audit Report, Financial Management of Donated and National Disaster Funds, and the implementation of the Roof Restoration Program. That was tabled on May 12th. The deadline for the response is today, the 16th. So those are the matters that we will be considering in the next couple of weeks before our Parliament goes on recess. Let me thank the Ministry of Health, the staff members from the University Hospital. You have been here about 5 times, and I'm sure you're very happy that you won't have to come back. I hope that all the recommendations that have been made and the reforms that have been started continue. Dr. Powell, you have a significant responsibility on your hand to follow through. I know we are there for about a 6-month period so that you leave there, whoever comes after you has a strong template to continue the work so that this institution, which is our premier health institution, returns to a standard that we can be proud of, not just as Jamaicans, but it is a regional institution as well. So thank you for being here and for cooperating with the committee thus far. Can I have a motion for the adjournment? Member Cousins?
Chairman, let me just join with your sentiments towards the staff of the University Hospital. The staff of the University Hospital. Hospital of the West Indies and the Ministry of Health. We have been here for a number of occasions, and you have been most cooperative. You have been most cooperative, and as the chairman indicated, we hope that the reform process continues and that you're able to get things right so that we don't have to come back here a few years from now to revisit these same issues. The process that we're embarking on now is one where we actually are here to interrogate and to assist as best as possible, not to necessarily critique for the sake of critiquing. And I hope that you're able to get things right, because a well-functioning university hospital is so critical to so many patients who are in need of decent health care. And so, all the best going forward. And thank you very much for the time and the effort that you have displayed. Chairman, I wish to move the motion for adjournment.
Sorry, I'm going to ask you to hold on the motion for adjournment because the Senior Research Officer of the Parliament has provided a summary of the University Hospital of the West Indies board minutes, board meetings, August 20th, August 21st, and August 28th, 2023. I'm going to read the summary because, as Member Bunting said, it's important to place in the record of the meeting what took place. The following summary was prepared by the Research Department and is based on 3 documents submitted to the committee concerning the recruitment and selection of a Chief Executive Officer for the University Hospital of the West Indies. These documents comprise 1, an email dated August 21st, 2023, entitled UHII Board Urgent, seeking board ratification by way of a round-robin vote to proceed with finalizing contract negotiations with a candidate selected through the CEO recruitment process. 2, an extract from the final report prepared by Great People Solutions dated August 20th, 2023, entitled Recruitment Services for the Chief Executive Officer Role at the University Hospital of the West Indies, which outlined recommendations arising from the recruitment exercise and proposed next steps following the selection of a preferred candidate. And 3, email dated August 28, 2023, entitled CEO Selection from the Chairman of the UHII Board to Directors, which provided an update on the round-robin voting process and the outcome of the board's consideration of the selected candidate. The documents indicate, pursuant to a decision of the UHII Board at its meeting of December 14, 2022, the Human Resource and Customer Service Subcommittee was tasked with identifying and recruiting a new Chief Executive Officer. To support this process, the board engaged Great People Solutions as an external recruitment consultant to conduct the recruitment exercise and prepare a report on the outcome of the process. According to correspondence dated August 21st, 2023, the Human Resource and Customer Services Subcommittee completed its recruitment exercise and identified a preferred candidate for the position of Chief Executive Officer. Directors were advised that the selected candidate had been identified through the process outlined in the Great People Solutions report and were requested to provide ratification through a round-robin vote to allow the board to proceed with finalizing contract negotiations with the candidate. The documents further reflect that board members expressed support for proceeding with the appointment process. Responses included endorsements of the recommendation to proceed with contract negotiations and approvals to move forward with the selected candidate. In correspondence dated August 28, 2023, the chairman of the board advised directors that concerns had been raised regarding the timing of the requests, particularly because the new UII principal had not yet been seated on the board, as well as concerns regarding whether the recruitment process could withstand scrutiny. The chairman stated that the vice chancellor and the incoming principal were consulted, provided with the relevant documentation, and afforded additional time to review and comment on the process. The chairman further indicated that the Human Resource Subcommittee had sought to ensure that the recruitment process complied with government protocols, was adequately documented, and could withstand both external audit review and broader scrutiny. The correspondence also noted that one member of the subcommittee recused themselves from the process due to the possibility that any future external audit could originate from that member's ministry. According to the chairman's update, the round-robin vote resulted in a significant majority of board members endorsing both the recruitment process and the proposal to proceed with finalizing a contract with the selected CEO candidate. The Great People Solution report also contained recommendations relating to the position and the organization. These included recommendations that the board address concerns regarding a culture of non-compliance within the organization, review the organizational structure to reduce the CEO's span of control, redesign the CEO's job description to better reflect the complexity of the role, and pursue measures to support the sustainability of a more market-driven compensation structure. The report further outlined proposed next steps, including board confirmation of the selection, engagement with the Minister of Health and Wellness, finalization of funding and payroll arrangements, negotiations of a draft job offer, completion of background checks, execution of an employment contract, processing of work permits and TRN applications, and onboarding and transition arrangements for the selected candidate. In summary, the documents demonstrate that the UHII board, acting through its Human Resource and Customer Service Subcommittee and assisted by an external recruitment consultant, undertook a CEO recruitment exercise, sought board ratification through a round-robin process, considered concerns regarding the timing and integrity of the process, and ultimately
Work ready. It's more than a set of words, it's a mindset. Ram Professional Trucks and Vans are built for people who don't punch a clock, but for people who punch up and punch back. Work ready means massive torque, serious towing, and the muscle to move what your business depends on. Work ready means hauling your entire operation with your tools locked and loaded. Only Ram Professional backs your business with America's best powertrain limited warranty. Ram Professional is always work ready so that you are too.
Asking for ratification of this report, which was prepared by the Parliament's Research Committee, which summarizes the plethora of documents that were put before us today. Can I have that ratification, please? Those in favor?
I so moved.
Okay. So we have moved by Member Miller, seconded by Member Bunting. Those in favor? Any against? All right, the ayes have it. All right, any further questions?
Could I just ask that that be circulated to members, they like the soft
Yes,
copy as well?
sure, and the committee clerk will circulate this as well. All right, Member Cousins, you had moved for the adjournment, and seconded by Member Miller. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
I appeal to you, obey the road code, pay your ticket on time, and only go to court if the ticket is being contested. Close to 80% of matters coming to the parish courts are for traffic breaches. Let's work together to make our roads safe and ease the burden on our courts.
Motorists, certificates of fitness are now digital. Here's how it works. First, make your payment at TAJ inline or online. Then, take your receipt along with your vehicle to an Island Traffic Authority service hub for physical inspection. A valid email address is required to receive your digital fitness. Once the inspection is complete, your certificate number will be sent directly to your email. To access your digital certificate, visit cgds.gov.jm/fitness, enter your certificate number and the chassis number, and view your certificate online. New validity periods are here. New vehicles, 5 years. Vehicles 10 years or less, 3 years. And those older than 10, 1 year. No more paper certificates. Just secure, digital access, anytime, anywhere. For more information, connect with us via email at info@ita.gov.jm or on social media at Island Traffic Authority.
Hey, I'm Abijah, the Roots Man. Today, I want to talk to you about something powerful. Peace. Peace isn't just the absence of conflict. It's about kindness, understanding, and respect. It starts with us. Every choice we make can build bridges or burn them. Let's choose peace in our words, our action, and our hearts. Peace begins with you. Together, we can create a brighter and safer future for everyone. Join me. Let's be that change we want to see.
Zoom in on the nutrition facts. It there in the table on the side or the back. You fi check out the servings, just do the maths. Not taking too much, finger below the facts. Zoom in on the nutrition facts. It there in the table on the side or the back. Take note of the sodium, the sugars and the fats. 5% or less in the on the right track. You fi zoom in on the nutrition facts. It there in the table on the side or the back. Vitamins, minerals and vitamin 2, 20% and more that good for you. You fi zoom in. Check the nutrition facts. You fi zoom in. Check the nutrition facts. You fi zoom in. Check the nutrition facts. Less sugar, less salt intake and less fat. You fi zoom in.
A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Jamaica Moves, the Heart Foundation of Jamaica, the National.
You know, folks, most people scrolled right past what happened on June the 9th in Maine. And I understand that. Life is busy, the news moves fast, and a Democratic Senate primary in a small New England state doesn't exactly stop you in your tracks. But let me tell you something, it should have. Because when Graham Plattner, a 41-year-old Marine veteran and oyster farmer from Sullivan, Maine, won that Democratic Senate nomination, the entire 2026 midterm battleground map shifted underneath our feet. Now, here's why that matters to every single one of you, whether you live in Maine or Montana or anywhere in between. Democrats need to flip 4 seats to take back the Senate majority. 4 seats. And Maine was supposed to be the surest bet on the board. Susan Collins is the only Republican senator representing a state that Kamala Harris carried in 2024. Harris won Maine by 7 points. This should be the easiest pickup Democrats have. But the candidate they just nominated to carry that fight is walking into a general election with more personal baggage than I've seen on a first-time candidate in a very long time. And whether that baggage ends up costing Democrats their shot at the Senate majority, well, we'll come back to that in a moment. Because first, you need to understand the bigger picture of what's really happening in American politics right now, and just how close this whole thing actually is. Now look, let me set the stage for you, because this isn't just about one race in one state. The United States Senate sits at 53 Republicans, 47 Democrats. That's the reality after the 2024 cycle handed the GOP 4 new seats and a comfortable majority. But here's where it gets interesting. Donald Trump's approval ratings have fallen to record lows. His war in Iran is deeply unpopular with the American people. The economy still feels broken for working families. And because of all that, Democrats have been able to recruit some of the strongest Senate candidates I've seen in years. Roy Cooper, a 2-term former governor, is running in North Carolina for the open seat left by Tom Tillis's retirement. Sabato's crystal ball just moved that race to lean Democrat. In Ohio, Sherrod Brown, the only Democrat to win statewide there in nearly 20 years, is running a special election against John Husted for the seat J.D. Vance gave up to become vice president. That race just moved to toss-up. And in Alaska, Mary Peltola, who beat Sarah Palin for a House seat in 2022, is challenging Dan Sullivan, and the early polling has her competitive. Chuck Schumer is out there saying Democrats have a clear and strong path to the majority. And this is where things start to get complicated. Because all of those paths, every single one of them, assumed that Maine was going to be the foundation, the first domino, the one race Democrats could count on. So let me walk you through what happened in Maine, because the facts matter here. Graham Plattner launched his campaign in August of 2025. Within 10 days, he'd raised $1 million and signed up 3,000 volunteers. He drew 6,500 people to a rally in Portland with Bernie Sanders. He was endorsed by Sanders, by Elizabeth Warren, by Ruben Gallego. He ran as a populist outsider, taking on the billionaire class, fighting for working Mainers who can't afford rent or groceries or health care. And the voters responded. Governor Janet Mills, who had the backing of Schumer and the...
Good afternoon. We do apologize about that. I didn't realize that the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament had finished. I am at work and I want to say thank you all for joining us. There is an item of news or a video that I need to play that just came into us that I find it very amusing. And when I say amusing, I'm very amusing, because you know why? We, the Jamaican people, have a tendency of fighting each other and calling each other names because of the name of politics. And I heard today is the Jamaica's biannual conference, biannual diaspora conference at the conference center in Montego Bay. And there is a video that is circulating on social media, and I want to show it all to you. That I find very, very fascinating. Jamaica's Prime Minister is there. Jamaica's leader of the opposition, Mark Jefferson Golding, as what Conor O'Brien dubbed him, Marky G, is also there. Now,
my dear friend, Mr. Mark Golding,
there is a video here that I want to show to you all. Where the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Andrew Michael Holness referred to the opposition leader of Jamaica as his dear friend. And I want to play this all for you all to listen to this. Listen to this video here.
My dear friend, Mr. Mark Golding.
You hear?
Mark, how could I forget you? You know, it was not always the case at these events that the leader of the opposition was invited to speak. But as this event evolved into more of a national event rather than a government-sponsored event, it became the protocol that the leader of the opposition, which is a constitutional position, quite a unique thing in constitutional innovations, to have the office of the leader of the opposition written into the Constitution. So Mark, we can never forget you. And we're always happy to have you here as leader of the opposition.
You know, one of the fascinating things this may be hypocritical, I don't know. But for the Prime Minister to refer to Mr. Golding as leader of the opposition, sorry, to him as his good friend, I wonder what many of us think. Because many of us in this country have a tendency of pouring each other, even on social media, especially TikTok. TikTok, people believe that the politicians in this country are not friends. And I keep on telling you all, majority of them are business partners. They are business partners. But you all believe that they're against each other. They're not. Maybe the Prime Minister was being hypocritical at the Jamaica Biennial Conference in Montego Bay. We don't know. We don't know. But for him to refer to Mr. Golding as his dear friend, it begs to ask the question, why are we out here living as cats and dogs? Why are we out here at each other's throat, fighting with each other and calling us each other's on social media, especially on TikTok? We call each other names. But yet, the leaders of the country are having a fampalocious, grabbalocious time with each other. They sit and they drink and they have dinner with each other. But majority of us believe that the way how they portray themselves in the parliament, that's how they react. No. I want you to listen to this again.
My dear friend, Mr. Mark Golding.
You hear that? My dear friend. My dear friend, Mr. Mark Golding. He may be being hypocritical by saying that, as I said before. But when you look at it, when you listen to it, it says volume. That only we in this country, who believe that these people who are in the halls of politics in Jamaica are enemies. We are the enemies of ourselves. Many Jamaicans are at this diaspora conference in Montego Bay, both from Jamaica and overseas. Many of them are PNP and JLP. But only we in Jamaica fight against each other. I hear my good friend Munchi, Madam Speaker on TikTok, is saying that the money that was given to Jamaica should be given to the PNP. Because it seems that it's only PNP house the hurricane came on. And when I try to correct her by saying it is the duty of any government to provide housing for its people, she said nothing goes up. And I'm trying to educate my good friend Munchi on this. But when you listen to the leader of the country referring to the leader of the opposition of his good friend, they're friends. And there are many others who are friends in the parliament and many others who are business partners in the parliament. Many of them are business partners in the parliament. But we are the one who believe that these people are enemies. Let's play this again. Let's have a field day with this again. The Prime Minister of Jamaica referred to the leader of the opposition as my good friend.
My dear friend, Mr. Mark Golding.
Here, my dear friend, Mr. Mark Golding. One thing that the Prime Minister said that I wasn't in agreement with, though, you know. Well, you can say it. He said that you're going to be opposition for a long while. Be careful how you talk, Prime Minister Holness. The table have a way of turning. You may believe that Mark Golding will be in opposition for a long time to come. Think again. Be careful what you're saying. An item of news just coming in. Jamaica's Prime Minister and leader of the Jamaica Labour Party referred to the leader of the opposition as my dear friend, Mr. Mark Golding, at the biannual conference of the Jamaica Diaspora that is underway in Montego Bay in St. James. This is what the Prime Minister said a short while ago.
My dear friend, Mr. Mark Golding.
You hear that? My dear friend, Mr. Mark Golding, yet Jamaicans in Jamaica and on social media will fight against each other, will call each other names and disrespect each other, all in the name of politics. When the leader of the opposition and the Prime Minister is living good. But this is the case of it. Yes, Marie?
Yes, good morning. How are you doing, Jeffrey? I was watching your program. How are you doing? Happy Tuesday.
I am doing good, you know. It may be hypocrisy when the Prime Minister referred to the leader of the opposition as his good friend. But at least he did it publicly.
Okay, repeat what you just said.
I said it may be hypocrisy. You're live on air. You want to talk on air?
No, I know. Yes, go ahead. That's okay. Yeah, I was watching your program, yes.
No, I'm saying it may be hypocritical that the Prime Minister may refer to the leader of the opposition as his good friend or my dear friend. At least he's trying to tell the Jamaican people that behind closed doors, they do talk casually. but we're the one who believe that they're enemies.
Right, and the truth is the Prime Minister is right in saying that because professional courtesies apply in professional spaces.
Exactly.
And it is rather unfortunate that people believe that they must, be at each other's throats, and everything is politics. Politics is finished because the election was last September 3rd. Right now it is the leader of opposition and the Prime Minister. And he cannot go in public, in professional spaces and be disrespectful. And you follow what I'm saying?
Yes.
You have to compartmentalize your approach. And it happens in every space, because even in the UK Parliament, they say, my good friend across the aisle.
Of course.
In the United States Congress, my good friend across the aisle. I mean, Republicans refer to the Democrats as their good friend, and the Democrats refer to the Republicans as my friend across the aisle.
And when they're out of and when they're out of the Parliament or wherever they are, they're gonna have a drink of whiskey or a drink of this together. I've lost you there, Marie. What's going on? I lost you. Marie, I've lost you.
I'm here. You're not hearing me?
Much better now. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, I'm hearing you now.
Okay, yes. I say a lot of them do, not in all cases, because sometimes people can be so upset with the way a government is going that they when they leave the Parliament, they don't necessarily go and socialize, because it's like a working space. Do you always go and socialize with all your colleagues? No. And there are some people who will go and socialize after, but it doesn't apply across the board. So it cannot say that, after a while they go. Not necessarily. Darrell Vaz and Philip Powell are friends, and people have an issue with that, and but that's just how the system is.
But hold on there for me, Marie. Why should the Jamaican people ever have an issue with who and who is friend? Aren't we Jamaicans?
Yes, and the thing, and this is what needs to happen. We have to separate the policy from the personality. The policies of Andrew Holness are destructive and have always been destructive. Andrew Holness, as a politician, is a horrible person. A horrible person. And there might be people who say, boy, outside of his politics, he's a nice person to deal with. I don't know that. But I have to make an assessment about him based on his policies and his politics and how he has conducted himself in the public space ever since he has set foot in Parliament. However, in professional settings, and him referring to Mark Golding as his good friend or whatever, nobody should be getting aneurysm over that, because it's a polite thing to do. That is what happens in professional circles all the time. And when they will sit down and go to Parliament tomorrow and tear each other apart, not even each other, but rip policies apart. But people should be adult enough to separate the sheep from the goat.
Not the Jamaican people.
And separate well, they have to rise to the occasion, because guess what? What is happening in Jamaica affects everybody, irrespective of whether they voted for the JLP or the PNP or they didn't vote at all. Everybody is affected. So they have to the collective opposition has to address the problems affecting the country as a result of the government's non-performance and non-involvement and non-investment and all those things, and non-investment in the human capital, in education, in healthcare, and all that sort of thing. That can be addressed. Their behavior in the Parliament and their wanton disrespect of the Jamaican people ought not to be swept under the carpet. But it doesn't mean he's going to get up on the platform and say that man, you still have to be polite at some point. And we have to liken it to any workplace. You work with people that you don't like, right or wrong.
Correct.
But in professional settings, yes? You hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. I said correct, yes.
Okay. Yeah, in professional settings, you're going to refer to your colleague in a way that is in polite. That's in a way that's polite and respectful. And when you finish, you're going to say, people may say, "Oh, that bitch," and that others will say that N-word, and and they will refer to people in ways that are unkind. But with the minute you step foot in a professional setting, you have to conduct yourself accordingly.
Of course.
And it doesn't mean you cannot rip apart the politics of the government. It doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean you cannot go and say this prime minister is the most corrupt, because he is.
You know something to
But
Marie?
it cannot be on every platform. Yes, Jeffrey.
You know something too? I grew up in the political arena, just like how you grew up in the political arena. And I used to hear the people who helped to raise me. They're start members of the People's National Party. And you know my other side of family start members of the Jamaica Labour Party. And it was happen. It was good to see both of them sit down and chat, you know, and laugh and everything like that. Hold on for me, Marie. Hold on for me, Marie.
Yes.
And I grew up with my siblings and both my biological parents and my adopted parents saying to me, "You decide your political faith. We're going to tell you what to do."
Yes. Yes.
And I used to watch them talk, you know. And when I see how we operate nowadays, I have to laugh and wonder what the hell is really going on.
Right. And here's the thing. My parents did not make a decision for me. I made it for myself.
Exactly.
And I went and I was involved in the Michael Manley administration and all of that, taught party school and all of that, which was my choice. And made the decision based on policies, not personalities. You follow what I'm saying?
Yes.
And we have to separate ourselves from the dog-hearted, die-hearted. You can support, okay, you talk about you have two different political ideologies in your family. Mine is the same. But there are thought about families who one is married to a Republican and the other one is a Democrat.
All right.
His Carville is a Democrat, his wife is a Republican.
There you go.
So you see, so people have to get their mind out of the way it can be to, you can't be of different political persuasion and live in the same roof. Yes, you can be. But you have to be able to have mature conversations about issues, not people, not individuals. And that is where I think they conflict issues. I have a problem with Juliet Honus being speaker. I have a problem with her behavior in the parliament. Does she behave like a virago? She 100% behave like a virago. Does she behave like a Tegreg? She 100% behave like a Tegreg. If I was interviewing her, then it becomes a professional situation where I'm not going to look at her and call her a Tegreg.
No, we can't. We can't.
I am going to be respectful. Right?
Exactly.
I'm going to ask her professional questions and ask her about her conduct in the parliament, but not in a way that would be
degrading.
Derogatory,
right.
Degrading or derogatory, because then you have to separate yourself from the positions that you're in. So no one should be getting upset that the Prime Minister get a point. They all do it, Jeffrey.
Every one of them.
Political organization across the world.
I think our fundamental problem in this country, you know, Marie, is that the Jamaican people believe that there's campaigning all year round, you know.
And it's not, but because you see, you have the Prime Minister does behave like he's always campaigning, and members of his administration behave like they are not.
Even before Andrew Holness Marie, the Jamaican people believe it's campaigning all year round because
that's nonsense.
Siaga will go and tell Michael Manley say XQYZ, or Siaga will go and tell PJ Palace, I'm the only dad in this part. You know, all the others are Donovan, and nobody can call me And the Jamaican people believe that they're at war. They're not at war. When Michael, when Siaga have his birthday, that's true. When Siaga have his birthday, PJ is there. When PJ,
Michael Manley spoke to Siaga through Hugh.
I know that. Yes, we know that.
To him,
we know that.
After what he did to him, I wouldn't talk to him either.
We know that
because he was, you know,
we know that.
That part is which leads back to my point.
Right, but what I'm saying though,
co-workers socialize after work.
Yes, but what I'm saying
talk to me at work, but we have to talk after work.
Exactly. What I'm saying though is this: that during the Patterson and Siaga administration or after the whatever,
yes,
they have, you know, social gathering. Bruce Gold have his party. PJ is there.
Yes.
You hear
Honest was
Bruce
at PJ's
Golding.
birthday party.
There you go.
Andrew Honest was at PJ's birthday party. So
There you
people
go.
need to
Wake up.
You know what it is? And Jeffrey, it comes down to education. And it's not that about just book smarts. It's about street smarts and being able to reason things out to logical conclusions. Right?
Yes.
The political space is a workspace. It's a job. They are behaving like the politicians are their bosses. No, the politicians are the employees.
But not only that, Marie. Not only that, Marie.
You understand me? So they must understand that.
But not only that, Marie, the Jamaican people must understand that we're all Jamaicans.
And exactly.
This stupidness about no labor right man around here, no this around, is damn stupidness. We're Jamaicans.
But I don't expect them to know any better if they're not educated enough to understand that the political space is a professional space. It's about policies, right? There are personalities in the party that their policies reflect their personalities.
Yeah.
So you have to know how to navigate around all of that. But when you're in a professional setting, you have to conduct yourself accordingly. I don't expect the opposition leaders to get up on the platform and talk about the corruption of Andrew Honest. I don't.
No.
Because it's not that kind of setting. It's not that kind of setting.
No.
But when you're in the parliament, you can talk about the corruption.
Exactly.
And how Nara is not this. And when he gets in other forums, get on a news channel, he can talk about the dangers of Nara and how it has legislated and normalized corruption. He can. But the current situation now, where they're both in the same space, does not call for that.
No, because
there's nothing wrong with that, Jeffrey.
Because the Jamaica Biennial Conference is a total different setting to bring that there.
It's a different setting altogether. It's a different setting altogether. So you don't expect Andrew Honest to get up there and talk about Mark Golding and the birth certificate and being a British and his lineage, his father being British, though Mark Golding was born in Jamaica. You don't expect Andrew Honest to get up there and talk about that. And you don't expect Mark Golding to get up there and talk about how uncertified he is, though he's uncertified and everybody knows that he's uncertified and he is corrupt. We all know that. However, you have to conduct yourself according to the space that you are in.
Exactly.
Not every space is a political space. And Jamaicans need to elevate themselves, their consciousness, their conversations around that and say, what does this call for? How should I? It's like any workspace, Jeffrey. You don't in the hospital, you think all the nurses and the doctors get agree? No, they don't, but they conduct themselves in professional ways.
Course.
When they leave, they're going home.
But
then who said they're going to socialize?
But
Not necessarily.
But some of the Jamaican people, Marie, and it go back down to education indeed. Some of the Jamaican people believe, that them ban consider mama and papa a labor right, so them a labor right. And then ban consider mama and papa now chat to Mass Joe because Mass Joe a PNP. So them now do the same thing. It is damn nonsense, and we must wake up in this country.
I had relatives who are supportive of the JLP, and my parents were not. My parents worked in the PNP. But my father went all the way back to Norman Manley. No leather soul.
And
crab leather soul. And so that is so when God rested there when he talked about the politics from way back when, and the policies. It wasn't about the personalities. It was always about the politics. And now Norman Man, he said, if you have one suit, you wash it, you iron it. If you don't have no shoes, you wash your foot and you come to meeting. It wasn't about just walking around, and carry yourself anyway. And it was about edifying yourself. So it was about policies, Jeffrey. People need to get back to policies.
Exactly. And people need to get back to the idea of knowing that we are and we are and we will remain Jamaicans. Let no politics divide us. Because those in the parliament, those in the parliament, there you go. Those in the parliament are not divided as they look. Only we.
They're divided on policies.
Thank you.
They're divided on policies.
It's only we divided out
here. Right. And when I hear Andrew Honest say that, we cannot go back to the 70s, this foundation of the 70s, had it been allowed to take root and grow, would have had Jamaica like Singapore today. You follow what I'm saying?
Exactly,
Because
exactly.
it was the education and the health care and the investment in human capital and the investment in agriculture and eating what you grow and growing what you eat. That was what it was about, Jeffrey. Giving land to the landless through the land lease program, not taking away land from the people and making them landless. You follow what I'm saying? That was what, it's a policy difference. Policy difference. And the same thing goes for people who are overseas and ready. Look at the countries that wherever they live, whether it's Canada, England, Barbados, wherever. It's policies that they are talking about.
One thing I can tell the people on this platform now, who believe that this Make We Talk platform is a PNP platform, they make a sad mistake.
It's not.
This PNP platform is neither JLP.
Jeffrey, you cannot get into the weeds with people who cannot see past their nose. You cannot do that, because having healthy, mature conversation about policies, not personal, is not about PNP and JLP. It's about a country. The country outweighs the parties. Because you see, okay, where is Michael Manley right now? Where's Norman Manley? Where's Bustamante?
They're
Where's
dead.
Balenciaga?
And dead.
Right. So it is, and guess what? People talk about the policies of Michael Manley to this day. When they talk about him, they talk about policies, Jeffrey. So that's why policies are so important.
Exactly. And that
when
is
they talk about, they still talk about his policies and how his policies were detrimental.
And that is why you see me, nobody can buy me out. Nobody can come to me and tell me, say, boy, they give me X, Q, Y, Z for push a narrative or push whatever. I push an agenda or whatever.
Narratives don't put food on the table, Jeffrey.
I will never do that.
Work.
And anybody who know a Jeffrey Tavares know that I am neither P nor J. I'm a Jamaican, and Jamaica come first for me.
But Jeffrey, that's not an honest statement either. And here why I say
Why?
that politics runs everything. Politics runs everything. Wherever one is in the world, politics runs that space. In the United States, it's Democratic or Republican or Independent, correct? If it's England, it is conservative, it is Labour, it is this, it is that. Wherever you go, politics runs everybody. So when somebody says, I know this, I know that, that is not an honest statement.
That's an honest statement for me, Mary, because I'm not one.
Huh?
That's an honest statement for me, because I'm not one.
No. But what I'm saying, you don't have to be a PNP or a JP.
Oh.
Politics influences everybody's life, Jeffrey. Politics influences everybody's life. You have to vote for a political party. If a person did not vote for a political party or vote in an election, they should not say anything, because politics influences our lives. So those who sit by the wayside and don't vote, we get whatever is happening now, that is what is happening, because you sit on by the wayside and say, politics don't affect my life. It affects everybody's life.
Marie, let me ask you a question, Marie. If you're a part of a family that belongs to a PNP or a JLP, that makes you a PNP or a JLP?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
No, because I have a freedom of thought.
Okay.
I have freedom of thought, and everybody can choose to vote for a party. But again, to say that I'm not a P, I'm not a this, somebody has to be some, because it's politics where everybody is, who live in England, who live in Canada, who live in Barbados, move to Barbados. It's all politics, you know. It's politics create policies, and how you get policies. Because of politics, you get governance, you get government. What's up?
True.
Without politics, you're not gonna have a government, and you're not gonna get policies. So that is why it is important to pay attention to the policies. So when people talk about supporting a political party, then it becomes why. You know? But your platform doesn't have to be a PNP or JLP platform for it to be objective.
Hold on for me, Marie.
Objective is not politics.
Hold on for me, Marie. I want to say good afternoon to Dr. the Most Honorable Steve Dunkley, who is on TikTok watching us now. Dr. Dunkley, give me a call when you can, sir. He's in the land of wood and water, having a fabulous time in St. Elizabeth. Dr. Steve Dunkley, good afternoon. Give me a call when I finish off the program here, sir.
Yes.
Go ahead for me, Marie. You have 2 more minutes to go, so we have to wrap up.
I'm going to hang up now. That's just my point, that politics affects all of our lives. But being a supporter of one political party doesn't mean it makes one less objective.
Yes.
Because it's objectivity that rules the day. You cannot see, okay, it's like you're in a workspace and the person is doing wrong, even though that person is on your team and you don't call out that person. It affects your work.
Of course.
So that's what is happening in the political space, because guess what? In that workspace, there are so many people, they see the prime minister doing wrong. And instead of calling, they go along with it. And you know who is affected? The entire workforce is affected by it. You know, so we have to elevate the conversation and understand that we are all in this together. PNP, JLP, no P, but it's one Jamaica. And Jamaica will be there long after all these other politicians are gone. But the policies that they're created for the benefit of the people will always be there. Will always be there. God bless you, Jeffrey, and have a good day.
Same to you, Marie. God bless you, my friend. Thanks for calling in.
And no worries, yes.
Okay, man. Just to remind you all that the biannual conference that we are having with Mr. Rattigan this evening comes on at 7 p.m. One of the special guests will be Opposition Spokesperson and National Security, the Honorable Fitzjackson, Member of Parliament, Robert Finney-Smith, and others. And I think I'll be on the platform this evening too again. I'm not sure if they're going to invite me back on the platform this evening, but I pretty much will be on the platform this evening. So let's play this video here of the conference coming up this evening at 7 p.m.
The Global Jamaica Diaspora Coalition kicks off its second biennial diaspora conference online Sunday, June 14th to Thursday, June 18th from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time and 6 to 9 p.m. Jamaica time. Join this impressive lineup of speakers as they discuss and provide solutions to crime, agriculture, health, economics, tourism, and beach rights access. All are invited and it's totally free. No airline tickets, no hotels, no peddling. Just one diaspora, one voice. That's the second biennial diaspora conference, June 14th to 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time and 6 p.m. Jamaica time. Join us on YouTube channel Reason with Rattigan. One diaspora, one voice, one Jamaica. Sponsored by our people, for the people.
And by the people. So join Jamaica's fearless leader this afternoon at 7 p.m. this evening. At 7 p.m. this evening. One of our special guests will be Opposition Spokesperson and National Security, the Honorable Fitzjackson, Member of Parliament. He will be coming on this evening to speak to us in the Jamaican diaspora about security in Jamaica. And Robert Finney-Smith will be one of the guests. He's a security consultant, a retired member of the Jamaica Defense Force. He is, in his own rights. He will be on this evening with Wilfred Rattigan, myself, and others. We'll be bringing you the biennial the biennial conference of the diaspora. That's her name? Yes. I am hoping that I'm pronouncing it correctly. So this evening, it will be on this evening. We speak truth to power on the Reason Rattigan program. We'll be broadcasting live on YouTube and other media outlets. So join us for that as we bring the Diaspora Conference to you live. You don't have to pay for anything. All you have to pay for is the internet at your house. So sit down and watch us and learn something inciting. Learn something that we can take back and say, okay, yes. Because Jamaicans have been contributing a lot to the Jamaican diaspora. And what have we received from them? Jamaicans rather have been donating a lot to Jamaica from the Jamaican diaspora. Yes, I said something wrong a while ago. So we have been given from the Jamaican diaspora to Jamaica, and we get no accountability. So tonight we're going to ask for accountability. We're going to ask about the crime that is rocking this country. They say crime is down, but things are going on. We're going to speak about the health sector of Jamaica and other issues facing the land of wood and water, beach access, and so forth. So join Jamaica's fearless leader, Wilfred Samuel Rattigan, at 7 p.m. Our special guest will be none other than opposition spokesperson on national security, Mr. Fitz Jackson. He will be on this evening. So until you hear my voice again, I'm Jeffrey Tavares saying so long. May God bless you. May God continue to bless our island home, Jamaica land we love. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Make We Talk YouTube channel. Wherever listening, watching from around the world and the Eastern Caribbean, this is Make We Talk.
When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it.
The Global Jamaica Diaspora Coalition kicks off its second biennial Diaspora Conference online Sunday, June 14th to Thursday, June 18th from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time and 6 to 9 p.m. Jamaica time. Join this impressive lineup of speakers as they discuss and provide solutions to crime, agriculture, health, economics, tourism, and beach rights access. All are invited and it's totally free. No airline tickets, no hotels, no peddling. Just one diaspora, one voice. That's the second biennial Diaspora Conference, June 14th to 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time and 6 p.m. Jamaica time. Join us on YouTube channel Reason with Rattigan. One diaspora, one voice, one Jamaica. Sponsored by our people for the people.
When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend. Make we talk, people.
I got arrested a few times. During the 60s, I went to jail 40 times.
Plaza make, and you want a shop on the plaza, it's in US dollar.
My God.
Rich. Everything are run by China. Road are run by China. Government are run by America. Can I preach? Can I preach? Native citizen, we can't hold nothing down, yeah. Can I preach? Chinese are take over. I feel my belly. Somebody say, whoa. We need deliverance. We need the blood. We need Jesus. We need help. Can I preach?
Remind him, Papa Dad. Dubplate. Get rid of this evil Prime Minister.
That jaded mean you must dip in it. But
run wild in a JD.
The plaza make, and you want a shop on the plaza, it's in US dollar.
My God.
Rich. Everything are run by China. Road are run by China. Government are run by America. Can I preach? Can I preach? Native citizen, we can't hold nothing down, yeah. Can I preach? Chinese are take over. I feel my belly. Somebody say, whoa. We need deliverance. We need the blood. We need Jesus. We need help. Can I preach? The plaza make, and you want a shop on the plaza, it's in US dollar.
My God.
Rich. Everything are run by China. Road are run by China. Government are run by America. Can I preach? Can I preach? Native citizen, we can't hold nothing down, yeah. Can I preach? Chinese are take over. I feel my belly. Somebody say, whoa. We need deliverance. We need the blood. We need Jesus. We need help. Can I preach?
I got arrested a few times.
The Global Jamaica Diaspora Coalition kicks off its second biennial Diaspora Conference online Sunday, June 14th to Thursday, June 18th from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time and 6 to 9 p.m. Jamaica time. Join this impressive lineup of speakers as they discuss and provide solutions to crime, agriculture, health, economics, tourism, and beach rights access. All are invited and it's totally free. No airline tickets, no hotels, no peddling. Just one diaspora, one voice. That's the second biennial Diaspora Conference, June 14th to 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time and 6 p.m. Jamaica time. Join us on YouTube channel Reason with Rattigan. One diaspora, one voice, one Jamaica. Sponsored by our people for the people.
What is the dream for the election that I want to hear from you before me go?
Which election? Sister, me not the panic. I time for everything now. Me not the panic. When me get to election.
Look like...
Sister, me not get no election. All you hear me the pan radio, the chat. Me never get none from them.
So you don't get any dream?
Me not in election. I God me the seek no because guess what? People they say drop dead so me they repent and go to church back.
They repent? They me not think you did repent long time. Eh?
Me went take over politics and don't have time to say me they read my Bible every morning.
What a shame.
Because me they try to find something to compare the counter. Some people they get rent pay. Me living on a piece of work back and can't get water. Me go continue to chat about politics, sister. The blood and teeth against you.
Lord.
Me can't get water whole Christmas upon me pay dinner. Big me when we are 200 and had for the bill upon. Me mad? And if you continue to chat about politics, sister. Nobody with it.
That means
time for everything.
Andrew hole in this corner dark then.
Me not nice, sister. Me not go for me not no politics story with you. Me done with politics right now. Me not talking about politics. Me just suffer loose and nobody not give me nothing at all.
It is finished.
And they chat for radio, they think so what? Me just suffer bad and nobody not help me.
Oh
things
dear.
Right. People they go collect pay and me not get nothing at all. Not even a dollar me not get some hour.
But you working?
Me only but working on.
What kind of work you do?
What's the sister about with the right now, yeah? About with the right now. Me know that right now. Just people that come by ya, they get their house right there pay, so them people come every day contract. Not me. You know, Let me go closer where, because church and politics don't work. Nobody in a politics needs to go on politics. Let me come out right. If pay me, God, they show me sign, me not get none from me with up. Let me go see God face.
What a way, me go. All of the politics will be added on to you.
What is wrong with you, mister?
What a way, me step in the ants nest, yeah.
Package can't give me.
Eh?
Nothing can't give me.
You don't eat our things that I give out. What is the dream for the election that I want to hear from you before me go?
Which election? Sister, me not the funny. I time for everything now. Me not the funny. When me get to the election.
Look like...
Sister, me not get no election. All you hear me the pan radio, the chat. Me never get none from them.
So you don't get any dream?
Me not in election. I God me the seek no because guess what? People they say drop dead so me they repent and go to church back.
They repent? They me not think you did repent long time. Eh?
Me went take over politics and don't have time to say me to read my Bible every morning.
What a shame.
Because me they try to find something to compare you the counter. Some people they get rent pay. Me living on a piece of work back and can't get water. Me go continue to chat about politics, sister. It's blood that piece against you.
Lord.
Me can't get water whole Christmas upon me pay dinner. Big me when we are 200 and had for the bill upon. Me mad? And if you continue to go politics, sister, no bother with it.
That means
time for everything.
Andrew hole in this corner dark then.
Me not nice, sister. Me not go for me not no politics story with you. Me done with politics right now. Me not talking about politics. Me just suffer loose and nobody not give me nothing at all.
It is finished.
And they chat for radio, they think so. Me just suffer bad and nobody not help me.
Oh dear. What is the dream for the election that I want to hear from you before me go?
Which election? Sister, me not the funny. I time for everything now. Me not the funny. When me get to the election.
Look like...
Sister, me not get no election. All you hear me the pan radio, the chat. Me never get none from them.
So you don't get any dream?
Me not in election. I God me the seek no because guess what? People they say drop dead so me they repent and go to church back.
They repent? They me not think you did repent long time. Eh?
Me went take over politics and don't have time to say me to read my Bible every morning.
What a shame.
Because me they try to find something to compare you the counter. Some people they get rent pay. Me living on a piece of work back and can't get water. Me go continue to chat about politics, sister. It's blood that piece against you.
Lord.
Me can't get water whole Christmas upon me pay dinner. Big me when we are 200 and had for the bill upon. Me mad? And if you continue to chat about politics, sister, no bother with it.
That means
time for everything.
Andrew hole in this corner dark then.
Me not nice, sister. Me not go for me not no politics story with you. Me done with politics right now. Me not talking about politics. Me just suffer loose and nobody not give me nothing at all.
It is finished.
Radio and they chat for radio, they think so. Me just suffer bad and nobody not help me.
Oh
Things
dear.
Right. People they go collect pay and me not get nothing at all. Not even $1 me not get some hour.
But you working?
Me only but me working on.
What kind of work you do?
What's the sister about with the right now, yeah? About with the right now. Me know that right now. Just people they come by ya, then they get their house right there pay, so them people come every day contract. Not me. Then I get the law. Let me go closer where because church and politics don't work. Nobody in a politics needs to go on politics. Let me come out right. If pay me, God they show me sign, me not get none from me with up. Let me go see God face.
What a way, me go. All of the politics will be added on to you.
What is wrong with you, mister?
What a way, me step in the ants nest, yeah.
Package can't give me.
Eh?
Nothing can't give me.
You don't eat our things that I give out. What is the dream for the election that I want to hear from you before me go?
Which election? Sister, me not the funny. At times.
The Global Jamaica Diaspora Coalition kicks off its second biennial diaspora conference online Sunday, June 14th to Thursday, June 18th from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time and 6 to 9 p.m. Jamaica time. Join this impressive lineup of speakers as they discuss and provide solutions to crime, agriculture, health, economics, tourism, and beach rights access. All are invited and it's totally free. No airline tickets, no hotels, no peddling. Just one diaspora, one voice. That's the second biennial Diaspora Conference, June 14th to 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time and 6 p.m. Jamaica time. Join us on YouTube channel Reason with Rattigan. One diaspora, one voice, one Jamaica. Sponsored by our people for the people.
What is the dream for the election that I want to hear from you before me go?
Which election? Sister, me not depending. I time for everything now. Me not depending. When me get out of election.
Look like...
Sister, me not get no election. All you hear me the pan radio, the chat. Me never get none from them.
So you don't get any dream?
Then me not in election. I God me the seek no because guess what? People they say drop dead so me the repent and go to church back.
They repent? They me not think you did repent long time. Eh?
Me went take over politics and don't have time to send me to read my Bible every morning.
What a shame.
Because me they try to find something to compare the counter. Some people they get rent pay. Me living on a piece of walk back and can't get water. Me go continue to chat about politics, sister. The blood that keeps against you.
Lord.
Me can't get water. Whole Christmas upon me pay dinner. Big me when we have 200 hard for the bill upon. Me mad? And me to continue to chat about politics, sister. No bother with it.
That means
time for everything.
Andrew hole in his corner dark then.
Me not nice, sister. Me not go for me not no politics story with you. Me done with politics right now. Me not talking about politics. Me just suffer loose and nobody not give me nothing at all.
It is finished.
And they chat for you, they think so. Me just suffer bad and nobody not help me.
Oh
Things
dear.
Right. People they go collect pay and me not get nothing at all. Not even $1 me not get. So me hour.
But you're working?
Me only but no working on.
What kind of work you do?
What's sister about with the right now, yeah? About with the right now. Me know that right now. Just people they come by ya, they get their house right there pay, so them people come every day contract. Not me. Me not get $1. Let me go closer because church and politics don't work. Nobody in a politics needs to go on politics. Let me come outside. If pay me, God they show me sign, me not get none from the top. Let me go see God face.
What a way me go. All of the politics will be added on to you.
What is wrong with you, sister?
What a way me step in the ants nest, yeah.
Package can't give me.
Eh?
Can't give me.
You don't eat our things that I give out.
Plaza make and you want a shop on the plaza, it's in US dollar.
My God.
Rich. Everything are run by China. Road are run by China. Government are run by America. Can I preach? Can I preach? Native citizen, we can't own nothing down here. Can I preach? Chinese are take over. I feel my belly. Somebody say, whoa. We need deliverance. We need the blood. We need Jesus. We need help. Can I preach?
The Global Jamaica Diaspora Coalition kicks off its second biennial Diaspora Conference online Sunday, June 14th to Thursday, June 18th from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time and 6 to 9 p.m. Jamaica time. Join this impressive lineup of speakers as they discuss and provide solutions to crime, agriculture, health, economics, tourism, and beach rights access. All are invited and it's totally free. No airline tickets, no hotels, no peddling. Just one diaspora, one voice. That's the second biennial Diaspora Conference, June 14th to 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time and 6 p.m. Jamaica time. Join us on YouTube channel Reason with Rattigan. One diaspora, one voice, one Jamaica. Sponsored by our people.
What is the dream for the election that I want to hear from you before me go?
Which election? Sister, me not the funny. I time for everything now. Me not the funny. When me get to election.
Look like...
Sister, me not get no election. All you hear me the pan radio, the chat. Me never get none from them.
So you don't get any dream?
Me not in election. I God me the seek no because guess what? People they say drop dead so me they repent and go to church back.
They repent? They me not think you did repent long time. Eh?
Me went take over politics and don't have time to say me they read my Bible every morning.
What a shame.
Because me they try to find something to compare the counter. Some people they get rent pay. Me living on a piece of work back and can't get water. Me go continue to chat about politics, sister. It's blood and teeth against you.
Lord.
Me can't get water whole Christmas upon me pay dinner. Big me when we are 200 and had to be a upon. Me mad? And if you continue to chat about politics, sister, nobody with it.
That means
time for everything.
Andrew hole in this corner dark then.
Me not nice, sister. Me not go from me not no politics story with you. Me done with politics right now. Me not talking about politics. Me just suffer loose and nobody not give me nothing at all.
It is finished.
And they chat for radio and things so what. Me just suffer bad and nobody not help me.
Oh
things
dear.
Right. People they go collect pay and me not get nothing at all. Not even a dollar me not get some hour.
But you working?
Me only but working on.
What kind of work you do?
What's the status about with the right now, yeah? About with the right now. Me know that right now. Just people that come by ya, they get their house right there pay, so them people come every day contract. Not me. Me not get dollar. Let me go close somewhere because church and politics don't work. Nobody in a politics needs to go on politics. Let me come out right. It pay me God. They show me say me not get none from me with up. Let me go see God face.
What a way me go. All of the politics will be added on to you.
What is wrong with you, sister?
What a way me step in the ants nest, yeah.
Package can't give me.
Eh?
Nothing can't give me.
You don't eat our things that I give out.
For the people. The Global Jamaica Diaspora Coalition kicks off its second biennial diaspora conference online Sunday, June 14th to Thursday, June 18th from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time and 6 to 9 p.m. Jamaica time. Join this impressive lineup of speakers as they discuss and provide solutions to crime, agriculture, health, economics, tourism, and beach rights access. All are invited and it's totally free. No airline tickets, no hotels, no peddling. Just one diaspora, one voice. That's the second biennial diaspora conference, June 14th to 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time and 6 p.m. Jamaica time. Join us on YouTube channel Reason with Rattigan. One diaspora, one voice, one Jamaica. Sponsored by our people, for the people.
Remind him, Papa Dad. Dubplate. Get rid of this evil Prime Minister.
That jaded mean you must dip in it. But I say to Andrew Holness, you better understand that puts a run wild in a jaded.
Remind him, Papa Dad. Dubplate. Get rid of this evil Prime Minister.
That jaded mean you must dip in it. But I say to Andrew Holness, you better understand that puts a run wild in a jaded.
What is the dream for the election that I want to hear from you before me go?
Which election? Sister, me not the funny. I time for everything now. Me not the funny. When me get out of election.
Look like...
Sister, me not get no election. All you hear me the pan radio, the chat. Me never get none from them.
So you don't get any dream?
Then me not in election. I God me the seek no because guess what? People they say drop dead, so me they repent and go to church back.
They repent? They me not think you did repent long time. Eh?
Me went take over politics and don't have time to me to read my Bible every morning.
What a shame.
Because me they try to find something to compare the counter. Some people they get rent pay. Me living on a piece of work back and can't get water. Me go continue to chat about politics, sister. It's blood and teeth against you.
Lord.
Me can't get water whole Christmas upon me pay dinner. Big me when we are 200 and had for the bill upon. Me mad? And if you continue to chat about politics, sister, no bother with it.
That means
time for everything.
Andrew hole in his corner dark then.
Me not nice, sister. Me not go from me not no politics story with you. Me done with politics right now. Me not talking about politics. Me just suffer Lucia, nobody not give me nothing at all.
It is finished.
Radio, and they chat for radio, they think so. Me just suffer bad, and nobody not help me.
Oh
Things
dear.
Right. People they go collect pay, and me not get nothing at all. Not even $1 me not get some hour.
But you working?
Me only but me working on.
What kind of work you do?
What's sister no bother with the right now, yeah. Bother with the right now. Me know that right now. Just people they come by ya, then they get their house right there pay, so them people come every day contract. Not me. Me not get $1. Let me go closer where because church and politics don't work. Nobody in a politics need to go on politics. Me come out high. It pay me God they show me say me not get none so me with up. Let me go see God face.
What a way me go. All of the politics will be added on to you.
What is wrong with you, mister?
What a way me step in the ants nest, yeah.
Package can't give me.
Eh?
Nothing can't give me.
You don't eat our things that I give out.